Hey guys, this is Bandit FX, and today I'm going to be covering my pre-market analysis for March 20th, 2021, for the upcoming week on gold. So, if you take a look at gold on the weekly time frame, we tapped into this weekly support at around 1680, and our last weekly support, or basically important level that we need to be aware of, is around 1785, 1786. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark this off because this is the closest area of concern on the weekly. So this hasn't actually been a resistance on the weekly time frame, but it has been a support. So um, remember that support can turn into resistance and vice versa. So it's a very important area to keep in mind on the weekly. Um, it's basically the same breakdown as my other videos. Obviously, we have a little bit more price action here that I'm going to be talking about. Let me just adjust this to fit a little bit better. Okay, so looking at the daily time frame, we had candles trending downwards, and then we had this big sell off down into 1681 or the high 1670s, and now we're starting to push back up. So we did have a resistance here that we broke um, right at 1738. We broke it, and then we retested that level, rejected it, and now we're continuing up. So on the daily, we closed bullish as the last candle, right at 1745. So coming down to the 4 hour, I've talked about this before. Basically, we had swing highs and swing lows coming all the way down, and now where we're at is we're starting to get that reversal. So if you take a look at the swing highs coming down, let me get a little marker. Okay, the swing high is coming down. You had one here, one here, one here, one here. Um, so obviously they're trending down. Now, if you take a look at once we passed this area, once we bottomed, we started to actually break up above. So we're starting to make higher swing highs and higher swing lows than we were. So that's a very bullish sign. I just wanted to mark that out for you guys real quick. So looking at the 4 hour, so the last push we had up, obviously since we're reversing on the 4 hour, it would make sense to plot a Fibonacci retracement just to see where we're headed or where we could possibly be headed in the next leg up. So I'm just gonna mark this out real quick. The previous one, we came right down, right off the bottom. We tapped into the 618 level. This was actually not last Friday, but the Friday before. My Discord caught buys at this level, and we sold at about 1720, 1725. So if we're going to measure the next swing with Fibonacci, we're going to go ahead and mark the swing low, swing high. Okay, so what happened here? We came all the way up, consolidated a little bit, and then continued. We have our swing low and swing high marked out. Once again, bouncing right off that 618 level, and we're starting to continue up. So where could I see price heading over the next week? So this is the 4 hour time frame. So I think personally that 1770 is a very reasonable target for gold, especially in the first half of next week, possibly even the first 2 days. We're not really going to see any sort of a pullback or a significant retracement until we come into this weekly level right here. So this was that previous weekly support that we actually broke and then fell all the way down to the 1600s. So this level is very, very important. I wouldn't be taking buys or sells unless we have higher time frame confirmations once we come into this area. Obviously, if you're already in a longer term position, feel free to hold on to it. I do believe it could be coming up to this area. Obviously, use a trailing stop so you don't lose or give back the profits that you've already made. Um, but taking a look at the 1 hour time frame, we'll see that. Let me just get rid of this Fibonacci real quick. On the lower time frame, such as the 1 hour and 30 minute, let's see what we got going on short term. So if you take a look, we had a minor support level right here on the 1 hour, and we have our next resistance right here. So gold is actually in a pretty decent spot. So this range is pretty big. This range is almost 100 pips, so 93 pips. From where it is now, it's probably about 70 pips, but um, we might range in here. And me personally, I like to trade um, higher time frames on gold, so I typically don't look at anything lower than the 1 hour. But if you are going to take buys in here, wait for a resistance to form and for it to be broken, because the last thing you're going to want to do is catch a buy and then really with no confirmation or no real valid area to put your stop loss, um, especially because on Sunday there's going to be low volume. We're not really going to see very clean movement on Sunday, as always. It's usually pretty choppy. There's low volume. No one's trading on Sundays. Typically, wait till either London or New York on Monday to plan out your trades, or take any trades at least. So from this area, I would probably leave gold alone, even though it is a pretty big range. If you're scalping it and it's still in this area at London, feel free to take a trade, buys or sells. Just make sure that your trade is valid and you're not just trying to guess a top or guess a bottom, because that usually does not end up very well for anybody. Um, Trying to call tops and bottoms is how you lose money. So I'm just gonna mark these areas out with a line as well, so you get the price. So 1742 on the 1 hour time frame is our most recent support, and 1751 is the resistance. Now, if we do break above this level, for scalping purposes, you can definitely catch the move to 1754. There's clean traffic on the 1 hour, and there's clean traffic on the 30-minute as well. So that's around 30 pips. Easy trade. But if we do break above this level here, this is what I'll be looking for gold, for a much clearer confirmation for a continuation up. So if we break above 1754, let's look back at the 4 hour right here. Our next real area of concern is 1760. So this is 60 pips, and it does line up with this wick as well. So I'm gonna make this zone a little bit bigger. Put a line in it. Okay, so 1760. So this wick fill is what we might end up seeing in the beginning of next week. I'm personally not going to be taking a trade until we break above this level at 1754. So let's measure this range. This range is 53 pips. Okay, so a little bit bigger than the range it's currently in, or right above here, not currently in, but you know what I mean. Once we do break above this level, this is a very weak resistance, very weak support. So is this. So realistically, if I do catch buys, I'm only going to be securing a portion of my position at 1760, as I am expecting it to continue up to at least 1775 before we are actually going to see any sort of a momentum shift on higher time frames. Like I said, I typically trade the 4 hour on gold. I don't like scalping gold because it does wick out really hard a lot of the times, and um, the way that I actually place my stop loss, it it'll tag me out a lot. So I have taken a lot of losses on gold on lower time frames. My winners came from trading higher time frames. That's just me personally, based on the strategy that I use. So I'm going to stick to higher time frames on gold, but overall 1775 is my target for this week. We'll see if we reach it. 1760 was my more conservative target, but obviously since we're already coming up to here and we bounced off the 618 fib, the first extension should take us straight to the 1770s before we have any issues continuing from there. So let me know what you guys think of this gold analysis. Leave a like, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.